How's it going, everybody? Happy Friday. Hope you're having a good one. Back with another Demon Hunter video. This time we're going to get into the demonic build, which I find is actually a lot of fun to play, and it actually deals a good amount of damage. And it also you can also sustain a good amount of damage even for boss fights and raiding and such. And it's pretty good for to learn how to use a demonic build, especially for Nighthold raiding right now, because there are a lot of AoE aspects to Nighthold, which the demonic build really takes advantage of. So, let's get into it. Now, for stat priorities, you're gonna want to run a lot of mastery. In my last video, I said, you're gonna want to run 40% crit, 35% mastery. Well, for a demonic build, you're basically just gonna want to flip flop those. Gonna be drawn want to be running 40% plus mastery as well as like 35% crit. As far as haste goes, 10%, that's still pretty baseline. There's nothing too special about haste in the build. Um so yeah, now for talents. Talents are a big thing. You kind of need these talents to make a demonic build. Blind Fury is great. It generates, if you were to hit I beam at 50 Fury and use all your Fury, Blind Fury literally brings your Fury back up to maxed. It's that good. Plus you're dealing damage while you're doing it, so it makes your I beam free when you use it and gives you a ton more Fury. Now Demonic Appetite is also really good because you're not going to be wanting to use Demon Blades with with this build, because with Demon Blades, you're not too sure when it's gonna proc or not. You're not too sure how much fury you're gonna generate, which can kind of be a pain. And with just spamming Demon's Bite, you know how much fury you're gonna have. You know when you're gonna need more fury, and you know that you can get more fury when you need it. So Demonic Appetite, and because it generates soul fragments, as we know from our artifact trait, where is it? Right there. Soul fragments reduce the cooldown on I-Beam and Chaos Nova by 5 seconds. So as well as giving you more I-Beams, it's also going to give you more AoE stuns, which is very nice, very nice. Prepared, I mean, in this build, take it if you're a baddie. That's how I see it. Now for the third tier. I was kind of messing around with Chaos Cleave. I was trying to see if when it hit the additional target, if it also generated a lesser soul fragment, because to me that would make it worthwhile because you'd be generating more soul fragments, but it doesn't seem like it does. So I went with First Blood just because Blade Dance is going to be doing a ton more damage while you're in Metamorphosis. So yeah, First Blood's the way to go with this. And since you're not taking Master of the Glaive because you're taking Demon Reborn, Bloodlit isn't really that effective, and in this build you're going to see that you're not going to be using Throwglaive at all. So yeah, I'd take First Blood. It will deal a ton of damage, and it's definitely going to be worth it out of these other two choices. Now for this next one, it's what you want. Soul Rending is optimal right here just because, heal a lot. That's pretty much it. The other ones are just kind of there. They're just kind of there. So yeah, if you like to heal a lot, help your healers out, use Soul Rending. Now this next one, I like Nemesis, just because you put it on the target and it's on the target forever. You don't have to worry about when you do burst if your momentum is up or how long it's gonna be up for. You know what I mean? So it's nice to just plus with Nemesis, let's say you were in Neltharion's lair and you throw up Nemesis on the Scorpion dude. After it dies, it's still going to be with you for a minute. As you can tell, it's going to be on a beast or something like that. So it'll be 25% damage increase to all of those creatures, not just stuck on that one then. So it is good for Mythic Pluses. Momentum is just kind of eh. I feel like you have to dash around too lot, and that just kind of takes away from your DPS. I'm not much of a dasher. But then we're on to our next talent, choices, which Demon Reborn. You're using a demonic build, you gotta go with Demon Reborn. It invokes your Metamorphosis. Just kidding. When you invoke Metamorphosis, it all. So you're gonna want to be taking Demon Reborn, just because when you do pop your Metamorphosis, it does reset your cooldown on Chaos Nova, which I mean, it's good. The problem I have with it is when I first saw this talent, I thought that if I had Chaos Nova on cooldown, I popped I Beam, and my demonic went off, and I was in Metamorphosis, that it would proc Chaos Nova and would reset its cooldown, which would be extremely beneficial. But it doesn't do that, so I'm not too sure if that's because that's to me seems like how it's supposed to work, but it doesn't seem to work that way. Um, because I Beam with a demonic build allows you to enter demon form, which is Metamorphosis. So I'm not too sure. I'm guessing it doesn't take out the cooldown on Blur either, which is kind of weird. But it still just fits this build a whole lot better when you do use your Metamorphosis on. I mean, it's a 4-minute cooldown, but when you do use it, you'll be getting a free I Beam and Chaos Nova. You know what I mean? It does reset when you actually use Metamorphosis, which I think is kind of weird. I think they should change it to where when you do use I Beam, it resets the cooldown on Chaos Nova when you enter Demon form, because that just makes a ton more sense to me. That seems like a whole point of the demonic build is to have good AoE, and that right there seems like it should give you a good AoE stun. I don't know. I just take Demon Reborn out of all of it. You're not gonna be throwing glaives too much in this build, so I wouldn't worry about it. Unleash power is, yeah, that's what it is. And now to our last talent, we have demonic, and I mean you're in a demonic build, so you're gonna want to take demonic. But yeah, like I was saying, once you use I Beam, it causes you to enter demon form for 8 seconds, which is surprisingly a huge buff. Wasn't expecting it to be that big and to actually do a lot of the damage that it does, but it is pretty good. So let's get into the legendaries, because I know a lot of people, or the legendary, I guess, you don't need it for a demonic build. It does, of course, kind of help, but the stats on it aren't very good. I mean, the crit is nice, but you're gonna want main mastery and then a little bit of crit. So you don't have to have this legendary to run this build. It's not a priority. It is kind of nice to have, I guess, if you can stack a lot of mastery from your other items, but it's not necessary. So now let's get into the rotation so you guys can see it, and it's not as hard as it seems. So you're gonna want to spam Demon's Bite up to where you can use I Beam. You're gonna use I Beam, and look at all that fury it generates. You're gonna want to go into Blade Dance, or Death Sweep as it's called, and you're just gonna want to spam Annihilation or Chaos Strike. Then once you get out of it, you're going to want to go into Blade Dance again. Meanwhile, spamming Demon's Bite to generate more Fury. See, those are those lesser soul fragments, so you're going to want to go over and just pick them up. And as you can see, those also give you Fury. So then, once you get those and you got it all, you're going to want to spam more Blade Dance. When it comes up, spam some Chaos Strikes while you're waiting. I Beam again. Look at all that Fury it generates. That's quite a bit. That's awesome. And just Death Sweep, getting into it. Or Blade Dance. God. Sucks that they changed the names on them. Makes confusing. But yeah. Just spamming Demon's Bite, using all your cooldowns when they're up. Get back into Blade Dance, spam Demon Bite a little more, use Chaos Strike. Blade Dance again. Demon's Bite. It's a pretty simple rotation. I thought it was going to be very hectic and kind of weird, but I kind of like it. It's very simple, and I think it really does fit Mythic Pluses where you are trying to do a lot of AoE damage. Or like in the first boss in Nighthold, Scorpion, where you're really trying to get those scorpions down. It's not bad at all. Now you just see, look at all those soul fragments that are generating right now. Look, that just took 15 seconds off I-beam's cooldown right there. Those soul fragments. So it is good to spam Chaos Strike whenever you can. See, look, there's 2 more. Boom. I just got 10 seconds off I-beam. AOR, when you do use I-beam, you're gonna wanna either get rid of your Fury as fast as you can before you do use it, so that you're not just sitting at 130 Fury while you use I-beam and you waste a lot of Fury. Yeah, just getting back in. Just it's a constant Demon's Bite to Chaos Strike, waiting for Blade Dance to come back up. In the meantime, getting those fragments, waiting, then boom, going back into I-beam. And those lesser soul fragments actually spawn a lot. I don't remember them being that. I don't remember spawning that often. That's real nice though. So yeah, that's pretty much the rotation. It's pretty simple. Like I said, just spamming Demon's Bite until either I-beam or Blade Dance is on cooldown. And then once Blade Dance and I-beam are on cooldown, you're going to be wanting to spam Chaos Strike as much as you can. But having enough Fury for Blade Dance. Blade Dance and I-beam are going to be some of your main abilities that you're going to want to focus on. But Chaos Strike is still probably going to do the most damage because it is just a filter. So let's look at the damage now. So yeah, there's those Chaos Strikes sitting right up top. But Blade Dance, as you can tell, 16% of our damage, that's pretty good. And then I-beam. Now I-beam isn't really made in this build to do a lot of your main damage. It does do quite a bit, especially on single target. As you can see, if you were pulling 5+ mobs, on Mythic Pluses, your I-beam would be way up there. Um, but the whole point of it is to use your I-beam to invoke Metamorphosis and to be able to empower your other abilities and take advantage of that. So yeah, and as you can see, there's Death Sweep again. So those two did about 26%. That's Blade Dance, pretty much. Did about 26%. But yeah, and those are your main abilities. The rotation's pretty easy. So for basic raids going in there, starting off, you're gonna want to just spam Demon's Bite until you're 50 Fury. Use I-beam to invoke Metamorphosis, and then you will have enough Fury to use Blade Dance and spam Chaos Strike a couple of times, and then you can usually get around 2 Blade Dances per Metamorphosis, which is nice. So that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple. Then it's just using your other cooldowns when they come up, and you have that Nemesis on there, which would be 25% increased damage. So that's pretty much it for rotation. It's pretty simple, and I think it fits, especially Mythic Pluses or big AoE fights really well. So yeah, that is the demonic build. That is how to play a demonic build in 7.1.5. So yeah, that's pretty much all you need to know about playing a demonic build. It's pretty simple, can be real effective in Mythic Pluses and in these Nighthold raids with big AoE. That's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching. See ya.